literally going in here and having a grand old time. What? Did you see that? I can't believe I missed that. That has to be the worst shot I've ever made. And that's saying something. No, that was the worst shot I ever made. Hello and welcome back to the Ronin. As you can see, we are basically surrounded by the Aserai menace at the moment, and, well, here's the thing. I actually did attempt a small siege at Hubyar, and it was actually going extremely well. However, we were then attacked by this very large army at Sahel Castle, and let's just say, you don't really want a 900-strong army to come and try to attack you. So that's the reason why I am now over here, because I was actually attempting to maybe bait them into coming all the way over here, because if we can tell them to come all the way over here, it's going to waste their cohesion time, it's going to waste their food, and it's generally going to be a much stronger tactical option for us over pretty much anything else. Because if I were to try and take Hubyar again, they're just going to stop their siege and then come over and try to fight us. Anyway, I've just been doing a bunch of auto-resolves against the various enemies in the area here, and just trying to thin out the opponent in, well, very minor ways, I suppose. I mean, I'm not really able to thin them out as much as I would want, but, you know, we can't have everything we want, can we? So anyway, I do have my tactics skill leveled up to 125, which is absolutely fantastic, because now you can see we have swift regroup, which is the main reason why I actually even put an additional point in focus for the tactics. And no morale penalty for disorganized state in battles, lose 25%. Oh, look at that. That's actually pretty good. Lose 25% fewer men when breaking into and breaking out of a settlement under siege. That is actually very nice. I feel like that there should be more of that. I feel like there should be more of that. That's going to be very, very good. Also, this is nice. 25% attrition against siege defender personnel. I think that's very cool too. Yes. Wow. These are looking pretty nice actually. Look at that. 50% more influence gain from winning sieges. And when you're besieged, you have 10% more damage in simulations and so on and so forth. It really makes a huge difference. Okay, well, I'm going to be going for the disorganized time, because being able to gain your full speed at a much quicker pace, that is just invaluable in my opinion. And also, if the worst were to befall us, then we will be able to escape relatively easily. Anyway, let's take a look here. What do we want to go for? Well, I'm going to be going for Master of Warcraft, because troop wages being decreased by 25% while in a siege camp, that's basically the only thing that's kind of useful in that tree at the moment. Okay, so Medini Castle has way too many. We want to try and target a town, if at all possible, because that's going to be the only thing, I think, that will probably cause the opponent to change their course of action, potentially. So we'll see if we can maybe do that. Razi has actually been besieged. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Razi is obviously one of our towns. We do not want it to be taken, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take... Oh. 840. Do you think I can take this? I'm actually... you know what? I'm actually a little bit worried about that. I don't know. I don't know whether that's possible. With my current army composition, I think it might be. I mean, you can see how many units I have here ready to be converted. And we're getting some saboteurs as well, which is really nice, because they'll level up into fire arrow users or whatever. And that's going to be super, super nice for us. So otherwise, I'm just going to be recruiting these, and then I'll be giving them to one of these people, probably Nogand. I think he's quite a bit down on his capacity, as you can see right there, so having a little bit extra there is going to make a pretty decent difference. And we're just going to give all of these right here. Very nice. And as I recruit, there we go. Okay, so now he's got 132. That's much better. All right, now let's do this. Okay, so once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of an insurance policy. This is our insurance policy right here, getting the siege towers and the battering ram constructed, making sure that that's all well and good. And our combat strength is actually not even that bad. Look at this. We have a little bit more than 50%. So I'd say we probably have like, what, 53%, 55%, maybe something like that, which I think is pretty decent. And it seems like we are having another one of our friendly vassals creating an army as well. No doubt these catapults are probably going to destroy this trebuchet relatively quickly, but hopefully we will be able to build another one not without too many difficulties. So, yeah, the one thing that I'm expecting right now is that Nukar is going to come over here. 100% I am assuming he will do that. If he doesn't, I'll be very surprised. I mean, obviously he's trying to take Razich right now, which is probably going to happen. I mean, let's face it. I don't think he's going to have too many difficulties taking it, although bear in mind that the AI is pretty good at stationing units in the defense of a garrison, so it may very well be surprising to us, but I am 100% expecting to see Nukar on the horizon in about 1 minute. Shall we? Shall we say 1 minute and then it's going to happen? Let's have a look at the time right now. It's like, what is it, 6 minutes? Around 6 minutes? So let's see at around 7 minutes whether he is going to be around here. We're declaring war on the why are you declaring? Oh, well, their combat strength is really bad. Okay, apparently declaring war on the Southern Empire is something that they want to do. Well, that's kind of interesting. Okay, I guess I will actually just spend 100 influence. There's no real point in me keeping influence at this point, because we're pretty much able to gain it at will. So we don't really need to worry about saving it or anything like that. Well, if we want to get some policies installed, then yeah, of course, that's definitely going to make a bit of a difference. But most of the time, we're going to have more than enough to do with what we will and what we need it for. So, yeah, Nukar, where are you, sir? Where are you? I don't know where he is. It seems like he is, he's nowhere to be seen. So, it seems like he is just kind of chilling. I'm wondering whether he's actually on his way here. He probably is on his way here. Oh, wait a minute. He was defeated. He was defeated by that other army. Yes, absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, that is exactly what we wanted to see. Okay, so let's just get these trebuchets up and running once again. Ah, they're actually going in against us. That is a huge mistake, in my opinion. Look at their combat strength. It's terrible. I'm actually surprised that they went in here. Technically, I could even do an auto-resolve, and I could probably win here. That's how much the combat strength is in our favor. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to do that, because that's going to result in many, many more unnecessary casualties than we would know what to do with, but yeah, it would probably be a good idea to just do a manual battle in this case. Oh yes, dunes. It's been a while since I've seen a bunch of dunes. It's nice, because this is, I feel like this is probably the purest way that you can do a battle, because there are no trees, there are very few tactical advantages to actually use against your opponent. I mean, yeah, you got the dunes and the sand hills and all that stuff, and that's not really that big a deal. You know, you can either take advantage of it or not, but most of the time you don't really get that big of a benefit from it, you know, because you get, yeah, sure, you know, you're going to be getting, you know, a decent height advantage most times, but otherwise it's not really going to make a big difference to your overall chances of victory, unless you make a huge problem for yourself by, well, making a mistake. And I mean, that's happened to me, of course, so, you know, maybe it will happen. But anyway, that was some nice damage. Did you see that? Oh yes, 623. That's what I like to see. Okay, now here we go, another one. Oh, 813. She wasn't wearing a helmet. She wasn't wearing a helmet. Did you see that? She literally was not wearing a helmet. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I did not expect to do so much damage right there. I thought from the 600 plus hit that we had that was pretty much all that we were going to see. But no, we actually got something much better. Wow. That's crazy. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you seen a couch lance of over 1,000? Because I'm going to say, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. You probably would be able to see that maybe against someone super lightly armored, and maybe if you hit their head. But obviously, I did just hit that vassal's head, and she had no helmet on, as far as I could tell. So that's actually kind of eye-opening, because that means that might very well be the cap at what I can hit right now with the couch lance. So I just need to level up my proficiency more, and I maybe need to get a slightly stronger weapon. That might be the reason as well, that we're using a weapon that doesn't have the most base damage possible. But it could also be that we don't have the fastest horse either. So it might be possible to get a 1000 plus couch lance. Obviously this is just purely for stat padding. There's no real reason to actually have, you know, a couch lance that does 1000 damage, because no one is going to survive a 300 or even a 200 couch lance most of the time. So there's no real need to aim for anything higher, of course, but still, you know, it's nice to try it out and see what's actually going on there. Anyway, I'm actually going to tell my archers to charge in here because we need them to get into effective range. That's the main reason why we're actually ending up losing a bunch more units than we otherwise would have, and that was my bad. I was talking about the couch lancing too much, and I was theorizing a little bit. But anyway, let's do some... Oh, so much damage. We seem to be super accurate for some reason right now. I'm basically hitting on, what? I don't know, 70, 80% of my attacks right now? What? What is going on here? Look at this. I'm actually doing damage. Wow. Have we entered the Twilight Zone? I think maybe we have. Because the Twilight Zone is somewhere that we generally tend to enter only once in a blue moon. Because you know me. I generally don't do that. Oh yeah, someone actually mentioned that I should download this mod that makes it so that horses are a little bit stronger, so that you don't get stopped instantly by one polearm. Because let's face it, you know, something as heavy as a horse is probably going to be able to go through that, but it's going to take significant damage doing that, I guess. I don't know. I mean, obviously in a realistic situation it's going to probably die, but obviously this is a game, so it's a completely different sort of set of circumstances, but still, you know. But I think it's called something like Zorborax's Deadly Charges or something like that, and it kind of changes the way that horse physics work. And I think that is generally something that I'm interested in. I like Zorborax's work. Whenever I've seen some of their stuff before, I've always been very interested in it. For example, I think I used... a long time ago, in some of my earlier series, I did use Zorborax's... I can't remember what it is now. It's like Deadly Cut or something like that. Basically, it just makes it possible for you to slash through multiple opponents, because I wanted a bit more of a... shall we say, a bit more of a Dynasty Warriors vibe to the whole experience in combat. I thought that was really cool for the character archetype that I had created at the time, which was... amusingly enough, actually Byron. Byron was my character in the Crusade Carnate series, and I would highly recommend checking out that series, because it is the longest series that I have to date, 84 episodes, and it is one where we go from being a simple, humble vassal to being the leader of our own faction, and we do it in a very harsh manner indeed as well. Being able to create your own faction is very, very hard, the way that I did it, that is. But yeah, and then we actually ended up doing some very cool things, and yeah, I'd highly recommend taking a look at that. Anyway, there you go. We actually ended up defeating this army, which is exactly what we wanted to do, and what I'm going to do is take all of them prisoner. As you can see, all of my friends have also done a similar thing, and we're going to see if I can maybe take a couple of Tetsujin prisoner here. I am seeing mostly really high tier. Yeah, mostly very, very high tier. And as you can see, I'm already over the limit. I'm going to take these looters just purely for the fact that these looters will level up into Imperials. And then what I can do is I can just give them to some of our, you know, clan member parties or something like that. That's probably going to be the greatest use for them at the moment. Okay, so we have some war horses. Oh, I just wasted that war horse leveling up that random unit. Okay, very nice. Okay, anything else going on here? Well, yeah, we can get these guys and we can just distribute them evenly to our party clan members. And I'm actually kind of surprised that we did such a good job there, but I suppose I shouldn't be, because the combat strength was pretty dramatically in our favor there, so I guess it was to be expected that we would achieve a victory without too many difficulties. But still, you know, it's always quite surprising to me how well we do sometimes and how badly we do other times, which is also something that is kind of a bit, I don't know, a bit weird, because, you know, when you're up against the Crusade Khanate, for example, oh yes, I'm not going to rant about them for many, many hours, but yes, if you're up against them, then you end up taking insane amounts of casualties for no apparent reason, and even if your combat strength is equal, it just seems to rack up the losses. I don't know why that is, but oh well. Never mind. Okay, so look at that. We actually leveled up our polearms to 126, so now we have the ability to choose between 2 additional perks. Increases your speed damage bonus with polearms while mounted by 20%. Yes, I think I will probably be taking that. Yes, indeed. Nice. So that 20% is probably going to allow us to hit for over 1,000 couch lancers. That's definitely going to make a big, big difference to us. Okay, so let's continue the siege. We're going to continue building our trebuchets and everything. No doubt, the Aserai basically can't do anything now, so the only thing that I can do is murder them from outside. That is literally all I'm going to do now. I'm just going to continue building trebuchets. I'm going to continue making sure that no armies sneak up on us, because that's the main culprit of our demise, by the way. The surprise attack from the opponent. They generally will, you know, come up from behind or from the side or somewhere where you're not looking, and then all of a sudden, boom, you have some problems. So yeah, anyway, the walls are down, but I already know that, but what I'm trying to do here is just trying to murder as many of their catapults as we possibly can. And yeah, I should probably stop saying that as well, by the way. Seems like some people in the comments have actually noted that whenever I say, it's time to murder, or it's time to murder you, or I will murder you very swiftly, or something along those lines, whenever I say something like that, it usually ends up in me dying. So I'm not entirely sure what that's about. Maybe it's like some kind of subconscious thing. Whenever I say the word murder, it means I will die now. It's probably something like that. But anyway, hopefully we'll be able to continue. Another word for murder. Taking out these catapults. Yes. I remember way back, actually, when I used to make very early warband videos. I would literally just literally say, take out. That's it. I would just say, take out. And it would be a very, very common catchphrase of mine that I would continue to use over the years. Until I decided that I would expand my vocabulary by one word and say murder instead sometimes. Yes. If you can't tell, I'm making fun of myself. Okay, anyway, there we go. I believe we should probably be able to go into Sanala now. I mean, it's looking pretty good. Look at this. It's looking pretty good right now. 278 and counting. Amusingly enough, if you have the walls down, then your trebuchets only have one thing to focus on. Okay, something really weird has just happened, as you can quite clearly tell. Byron is now going to become the owner of Razich, and I have no idea why that apparently got taken. Apparently that got taken by that army, and then the army that we had on our side decided to then take it back. So I guess I'm going to be taking it for myself, and I will be going over there as soon as possible to manage the garrison, because it's going to need a pretty significant garrison to be able to survive the rigors of the Aserai, and no doubt they're going to be coming at us relatively fast. I would assume that to be the case, at least. Alright, so we've gotten 250 scouting. Okay, this is... Okay, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but... Can you just see this for a real quick second? Look at this stuff. Simulated battles. Simulated battles. It feels to me like the developers came up with more perks than they knew what to do with the tactics skill, and they just put them into the scouting skill. What's going on with that? That seems like that's how it is. Anyway, what do we have here? Vanguard. When attacking, your troops have 5% more damage in simulated battles, and the secondary effect, 10% more damage in simulated battles when sallying out. So it's more of a more of a, well, it's kind of defensive and offensive, but the rear guard skill is increased troop wounded recovery ratio by 20% while in an army, and 10% more damage in simulated battles defending the siege camp. I'm going to be taking rear guard because I personally feel like having your troops recover just that much faster is almost invaluable, so we're going to be taking that, and we are pretty much exclusively in our own army, so that is going to be active 100% of the time, which is exactly what we want. Anyway, let's continue to do this. I am hopeful that we will continue gaining engineering skill. Have you seen how much engineering skill we're gaining here? Every single time we destroy one of the enemy's catapults, we gain 800 engineering skill, which is actually insane, because usually when you're constructing stuff, you're just going to get 5. But whenever you destroy something, you get so much more. It's crazy. So I'm hopeful that we will be able to get to 150 engineering, even though, as I say before, the perks actually don't make any difference because they're not yet implemented in this version of the game that I'm currently playing, which is, of course, 1.5.5. Anyway, we are now the owner of Razi, and I am actually getting a little bit antsy here. I don't know whether I should just head in, or whether I should just let my engineering skill just level up even more. But we're running out of food, you see. That's the main problem. My various party clan members have not visited a town for a very long period of time, and as a result I am now having to supply them with food, which is a bit of an issue. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to lead the assault now. It's 150 units, which is, in my opinion, much better than the... How many did they have? They had like 800 or something? Or, yeah, they had like 800. And now we are doing much better, so... Should be good. Should be good. And as I have found out in previous sieges, it is probably a good idea for me to just literally tell my units to charge in, because if I don't tell them to charge in, they're going to be a little bit... well... unenthusiastic, shall we say. I was hopeful that I'd be able to get that headshot right there. Can you move? You... Okay, well, there we go. Come on now. Come on, hitbox. I thought the hitboxes were a lot more accurate now. It seems like the shields are just dramatically large. Not entirely sure what's going on with that. But yeah, it seems like my forces are just literally going in here and having a grand old time. What? Did you see that? I can't believe I missed that. That has to be the worst shot I've ever made. And that's saying something. No, that was the worst shot I ever made. Any of these could be. Okay, well, whatever the case. Oh, hello there. Are you serious? You absolute interloper scoundrel. Well, technically, I'm the interloper here because I'm invading their space. This guy is a defensive wizard, by the looks of things. He seems to be blocking every single attack coming at him. But yeah, we're pretty much done here. I'm looking around for any additional units that I might be able to shoot at, because we have 99 crossbows, which is the main reason why I was wanting to use it in this part of the siege. Because I thought, hey, we're probably going to have some rather... well, vulnerable enemies that I might be able to kill easily, but no, they seem to be pretty good on the defensive side of things. So, unlucky, unlucky. All right. I'll take some tier 4 units, and that's it, because I don't have that much space. Although I am actually going to be able to convert a bunch more, so maybe I should have taken some tier 3s as well. Oh well, my bad, my bad. Doesn't really make too much difference either way, because most of my forces are doing pretty well in terms of their army sizes. So, yeah, we're able to maintain a pretty decent size army here, and we will just get a couple more of these. Whoa, there's actually a lot. Okay. Yeah, I really should have, you know, if I could, I wonder whether I can introduce that mod now, but party screen enhancements was a huge time saver in previous series, so it might very well be something that I will try to get again, but I'm not entirely sure if I can implement it in the middle of a campaign, because I don't really want to mess up my save game. That would be terrible, because that's going to mean that I'll not be able to play it anymore, and that would be absolutely awful because I'm very much enjoying this. Just like with every series, you know. I mean, obviously some series I enjoy more than most, dependent on the current situation of things and what's currently going on in there. But, you know, it's hugely fun. It's hugely fun to add in a new faction and then play with that faction almost exclusively. I think that is super, super cool, especially considering they've got all these really nice, unique armaments, and they look fantastic as well in-game, and it's just super nice. Anyway, I'm just going to place my forces in there for a real quick second to see if they can maybe just buy some food if they want. And I'm actually going to make a brief stopover at this little village here, just so they can recruit some more people. And I'm going to vote for the owner of Sonala. This is going to be Hideyoshi, I guess. I'm a little bit worried about giving him a town, to be honest. So I'm actually going to give this to Hanzo, because the leader of the faction is not going to defect. Whereas I feel like if we give any of these towns to other people, like any other vassal, I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing some jiggery-pokery, and then they're going to be leaving, and it's going to be absolutely awful. So, yeah, we had a mercenary band just leave just now, so we didn't have to really worry too much about that. And what do we have here? We have an army that is not really that capable, I don't think. Let's have a look. They got some master... What? Did you see how many master archers they have? They have 59. What is with that? That's insanity. Okay, wow, that's crazy. I never would have expected it. Okay. Well, there you go. There's a bunch more units for you, sir. Right. Let's see what we can do here. I kind of don't want to fight this because we have... We barely have any kind of advantage here, and we're fighting in the village. Not a big fan of fighting in villages. If you're going to fight in a village, be prepared to take massive casualties. Obviously dependent on the map. But this map is seemingly quite good. The one map where you fight by the lakeside, I don't know whether you know the one I'm talking about, but whatever the case, it's basically where you are pigeonholed into this natural bottleneck, and you barely have any tactical options whatsoever to utilize. And as a result, it basically always results in a huge amount of casualties being taken, which is really, really harsh. Anyway, this is going to be somewhat problematic for us if our archers do not start firing immediately at the opponent and start taking them out. We are going to take such heavy casualties that we will no doubt regret coming here and attempting to take them out. Let's move my infantry forward. Let's do a little bit of a couch lance right here. I'll take out the mount, I guess. I'll take it. Why not? Oh, nice. Nice. Another one. Ah. Yeah, I was hopeful for one more right there, but no. Okay, we can't be greedy, you know? We can't be greedy. That's the one thing that we have to be a little bit careful of, you know? We don't want to be too over-dramatic about this. Seems like the infantry is going in here of the militia for the town, for the village. It's not particularly good. Let's tell my cavalry to charge in as well. Let's tell them to charge in too. And I think we're going to be okay. I mean, I feel like we seem pretty fine right now. Maybe because I'm running a little bit of interference with the archers. They're getting a little bit panicked about what I'm doing. Ah, well, that was terrible. Ah, that was nice. Okay, yeah, so far so good. I think we're pretty nicely done here. I don't think we're going to have too many difficulties mopping up the rest of them, but as you can see, my cavalry are having some huge problems even navigating the architecture in this village. Which is, I suppose, to be expected. They are on mounts. Oh, that was a nice hit if ever I saw one. That was against his head as well. I gotta remember, you know, I have to remember that this is actually an army and not just a small vassal party, you know, of like 100 or something, because that is generally causing us a great deal of problems. I actually did take out that guy before I lost my horse. Which I suppose is okay. That's not too bad. Slash at him! Get him! Get him, Byron. Come on now. Oh, are you serious? Yeah, my swinging is really, really bad right now. I need to get a little bit better at handling my two-handed weapon again. Seems like I'm a little bit out of practice. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Gonna go for a thrust. Oh, nice. Anytime you can go for a thrust, that is a good way to go because it is going to do a lot more damage. Or shall we say, it's going to do a lot more easy damage because it's going to ignore most of the armor of the opponent due to its piercing damage. But if you want ease of use, then obviously a slashing attack is going to be fine. But I believe that is indeed it. I could get on another horse actually and do some more couch lancing, but I believe that is pretty much over. Don't think we have any other issues. But I do need to head back to Tetsugen territory. That's definitely something that I'm going to do off screen. Heading back to Tetsugen territory and making sure that we have a decent army ready to continue our various conquerings of the Aserai. That's definitely going to be something that we would want to do. Oh, nice hit. I didn't even expect to hit that, to be honest. Or that one. What? It feels like somehow we're a little bit supernatural with our accuracy right now. I don't really know what's going on with that. Really thought that was going to be a miss, because things that I think are going to be an obvious hit usually miss, and vice versa. I don't know. A little bit strange. Anyway, there you go. We ended up losing 47 units, which is not that bad. I think that's pretty good considering, you know, the environment was pretty harsh to move around on and all that stuff. So yeah. Anyway, let's just take a bunch of tier 4s. I think I don't have that much space. Yeah, basically none. So I could basically just, you know, convert this guy. And that's it? That's all I can do? Okay, you know what? I'm going to take a couple more tier 4s. And if I happen to move a little bit slower, then so be it. But they're going to be easily convertible. And it's going to make a pretty good, you know, pretty good thing. Anyway, I actually missed a Tetsugen Spearman on that previous screen, in the prisoner screen, so that's my bad. But you know, when he's in and amongst so many Aserai, you just see Aserai, and it's very, very difficult to see anything else. So yeah, it happens. It happens. Okay, so let me see now. How's Razich doing? It seems okay. Seems all right so far. Not too bad. Okay. Oh wow, look at that. Yamaya Castle is really, really good. No problem at all there. Hubyar is looking pretty nice too. Did they take Sahel Castle? No, they didn't take Sahel Castle either. That is insanity. Wow. Really surprised that they haven't been able to do that much. Considering they had an army of almost 900 running around, they really haven't accomplished much at all, which is fantastic. Anyway, improved garrison. We're going to recruit people from the region, even though I'm not going to be using anyone here specifically. We're going to be training units. We're going to set the upgrade tier to tier 4. And we're going to train them. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the dungeon, manage prisoners, and we're just going to put all the prisoners in here, basically. That's it. Just going to put all the prisoners in there. They're going to be recruited to the garrison, and hopefully that's going to make a huge difference to our overall combat strength here and being able to defend it. Anyway, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.